On the Medical Watch, painting a new path to COVID recovery. A local doctor on the front lines arms himself with a brush and finds comfort in color. And now his creations are easing the burden for others.
I can spend hours at a time down here, and it feels like 10 minutes.
A skillful hand at the canvas.
It's a meditative process.
The artist is also a doctor.
By anchoring in the ability to get my feelings out in painting, that I was really able to work through, I think, some of the lowest points emotionally within the pandemic.
Justin Fiala is a pulmonary and critical care specialist at Northwestern Medicine, where he cares for the sickest COVID patients.
In the ICU can be such a hard place to work because we see the worst of the worst coming through.
But in his home studio, tubes of paint and a colorful palette offer a stark contrast to the sterile and stressful intensive care unit.
At the beginning, it was daunting, right, to go into work every single day, and I certainly felt like I was going into a war zone to a certain extent.
It's a period that inspired his current canvas, a CTA commute to work during the early days of the pandemic.
And then you look around on that morning bus, right, at 5:30 in the morning or whenever it is, and you see it's all scrubs. Everybody's kind of headed towards the same place, which is, that dedication to patient care.
Today, it's a different patient population on the unit.
2 years out, there's been a lot of delayed diagnosis, delayed care for other types of chronic illness, right? Whether that's cancer, heart failure, people who were undertreated or inadequately treated because they were waiting to get into the hospital for testing, treatment, whatever, because of the pandemic, now are coming in with advanced disease and COVID on top of it.
Just as the caseload at the hospital has changed, so has Dr. Fiala's method with the brush.
Eventually, what ended up starting to kind of pop out was a human form, and it was something that really kind of organically grew out of the canvas.
His signature sharp angles give way to more fluid lines in this self-portrait of sorts.
So one of the first things that I kind of saw coming into focus was what ended up being a breathing tube, kind of extending from the mouth down into the throat or into the trachea.
He worked on the painting for a year and a half.
I think it really represents kind of the odd place that the ICU exists in, which is kind of like halfway between life and death sometimes, truly like a purgatory to a certain extent. It really is a reflection of there, but for the grace of God, go all of us, right? That critical illness can affect all of us.
With other pieces of his pandemic-themed art surrounding him, Dr. Fiala plans to keep creating.
Some of these complex issues and ethical questions that have come about, over the course of the pandemic, my art has been the lens through which I've been able to, maybe make sense of it. And so I just count myself lucky that I had this art, again, as kind of like an alternate way to, vent that frustration and play with some of these ideas and make sense of, a lot of the chaos that's gone on.
Amazing stuff. And Dr. Fiala said he hadn't painted in years. He had taken some art lessons as a kid, and then life, of course, and career got in the way of his creations until now, when the weight of the pandemic pulled him back to that release of painting.
And what a hidden talent he exposed there with such color and vibrancy, and the world that he comes from.
Making a dark place right now a little brighter.
Glad you found his story, Dina. Thank you.